Now, I'm not one to kick somebody when they're down. Or I'm not one to laugh at a player getting hurt because I don't want anybody to get hurt, not whatsoever. But guys, I gotta laugh at this a little bit, just a little bit, because this is karma. You know, the universe speaks for itself. The universe hear all, see all. And guess what the universe just did? Marina Mabrey is seriously injured in the game following the Caitlin Clark brutal debacle.
Yeah, it's karma. Of course, the other night, there was a Connecticut Sun Indiana Fever game. J.C. Sheldon viciously poked Caitlin Clark in the eye, and as she was reeling from that, Marina Mabrey came in with the Kennedy Carter body slam, heard around the world, just slammed into the side of Caitlin Clark and sent her viciously flying to the floor. Now, of course, many of you were like, can we ban her? I said I thought she ought to get 10 games for the incident, really and truly. And part of that is, simply put, send the rest of the league a message.
Marina Mabrey had been the league's villain all season long, pushing, taunting, dominating physically. But tonight, karma didn't just tap her shoulder, it slammed her into the hardwood.
And last night, folks, Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings, which has Dijonai Carrington on it, she had a disastrous game. And Marina Mabrey, well, she was a disaster too. 2 of 10, 8 points. Well, something happened last night during the game. All right, Mabrey was trying to guard Paige Beckers. And all of a sudden, the winds of karma came blowing through the arena.
One slick crossover from Dallas guard Dijonai Carrington buckled Mabrey's legs like cheap scaffolding. She crumbled on the same exact spot she once used as her battleground, where she decked Caitlin Clark just days earlier. This wasn't just a fall, it was poetic punishment.
Yes, I could not make this up. And guess who she's playing? The Dallas Wings. She's playing Dijonai Carrington's team, Paige's team. I mean, the universe just heard all, guys. I just gotta keep it real. Let's head on over to X right now. I should not be laughing, guys, but damn, this is instant karma. If instant karma was a person, Marina Mabrey pitcher gotta be held up there, bro. It just gotta be held up there.
This is last night, folks.
Off the floor. Let's take
right
a look
here.
and see
You see
what
Marino
led to this
being escorted off the floor. That's right. And this was the only thing I could find. But here, you're going to see it. Watch her ankle. I mean, Paige Beckers
Just
puts a
kinda
move on her. And
hyperextended
it,
a little bit.
it broke her ankle. And it may have literally
And she's going
broke
straight
her
back into the
ankle.
locker room.
I mean, damn, dog. So this just was posted 15 damn minutes ago on X from ESPNW. It said Connecticut Sun guard Marina Mabrey left the game and is questionable to return after suffering an apparent injury to her left knee. The team just announced this. And guess who's right there? That is Paige Beckers right in front of her. And then this is her leaving right here. So this is the report. It say updated status report. Dallas Wings. Marina Mabrey questionable with a left leg injury. Now we all remember this a couple of days ago. Marina Mabrey, bro.
The crowd gasped. The arena fell silent. Then, as trainers sprinted out, the noise returned. Not from the stands, but from phones blowing up. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. One word echoed everywhere. Karma. Fans didn't flinch. They cheered. Carrington didn't just drop Mabrey, she dropped the mic. It was the play of the night, no, of the week, maybe of the season. A crossover so filthy it deserved a censorship warning. She didn't shove, she didn't elbow, she just played elite surgical basketball. One jab step, one hesitation, then snap, like a tree cracking under ice. Mabrey twisted midair and slammed down. And that was it. She didn't return, not just from the game, but from the narrative she tried to dominate.
Between J.C. Sheldon and Sophie Cunningham, and it is very clear the Indiana Fever Some of these girls on this team are finally fed up. Finally fed up. Once again, WNBA, we're not talking about your basketball. We're talking about the WNBA WWE Raw Circus that you got going on right now. And we all know this incident with Sophie stems from the incident that was clearly not handled correctly by the WNBA and the referees. And I'm talking about, let's start here. This is, of course, Sophie and Sheldon going down the floor. Sophie tries to wrap her up, and Sheldon gets to the floor, and all hell breaks loose. And Sophie said, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. We'll go.
But this moment wasn't born tonight. It was forged in fire just 4 days earlier. On June 17th, the Indiana Fever clashed with the Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark, the league's rookie phenom and most talked about player, took the floor with a target on her back. Early in that game, Suns' JC Sheldon poked Clark in the eye. Looked deliberate. Even slow motion couldn't argue otherwise. Clark recoiled and gave a push in defense. The result? She got the tech. Yes, the victim got punished. Sheldon walked away untouched.
Sophie Cunningham's jersey is going to sell out tonight. The people have been waiting for this. If the refs are not going to do their job, the players are going to have to be the enforcers themselves. This game was chippy from the beginning, and the refs did not do their job. JC Sheldon pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye, and then Caitlin gets chucked to the ground by Marina Mabrey. And the Indiana Fever girls are just supposed to be like, yeah, no worries, no big deal. No one was ejected for that, but we're just going to play cool. No, finally someone was like, no, I'm going to stand on business. An intentional hard foul where she knew she wouldn't hurt JC Sheldon, but she sent a message. It didn't need to get to this point though. It's the referee's fault. Where did they find these referees? Behind the cash register at Sephora? They took nearly 20 minutes to review that play where Caitlin Clark got poked in the eye. And they came back and gave out 3 techs and 1 flagrant to JC Sheldon. If you guys don't remember, in the last game that the Fever played the Sun, JC Sheldon took out Sydney Colson's leg and was part of the reason that Sophie re-injured her ankle. So do I promote violence? No. But did somebody need to stand on business in this situation? Yes. All I know is there is about to be a lot more Sophie Cunningham fans after tonight.
Fans erupted, analysts fumbled for logic. And then it escalated. As tensions boiled, Marina Mabrey entered the scene, not as a player, but as an enforcer. Clark, jogging back on defense, didn't see the freight train coming. Mabrey body-checked her shoulder first, sending Clark sprawling to the floor. It wasn't hustle, it was a hit job.
Sheldon goes coast to coast. And here we got another breakers here as JC Sheldon goes right after Sophie Cunningham.
That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but
Refs issued a technical. The game moved on, but the fans didn't. They saw intent. They saw malice. They saw a league turning a blind eye. The WNBA later upgraded the foul to a flagrant 2. Mabrey got a fine. No suspension, no ejection. And that's when the frustration turned to fury. How can the face of your league be assaulted without consequence? Why was there no protection for Caitlin Clark? Why was she being punished for defending herself?
It was chippy the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with JC Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she's spent perfecting her craft.
Retreating, firing, and hitting.
So she can do that.
On Indiana arguing the call.
I mean, step back, you're late. She almost looks you in the eye.
Can we talk about the physicality for a second? 2 players on the Indiana Fever got injured last night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was JC Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injuries. They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs, they weren't Achilles, they were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Becker's out with a concussion. Rakia Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clothesline chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical player?
These weren't just plays, they were messages, and fans were listening. But someone else was watching too, Sophie Cunningham. Final minute of that same game, she snapped. Cunningham, normally composed, charged Sheldon with a violent foul. Flagrant 2, immediate ejection. But this wasn't just frustration, it was solidarity. It was justice. It was a warning shot. And tonight it all came full circle. Same Connecticut Sun, same Marina Mabrey, different night, different outcome. Dijonai Carrington, cool as ice, caught Mabrey on the switch, one-on-one. She waited, coiled like a cobra. Then, bang. A quick shift, hard crossover, step back. Mabrey flailed. Her ankle buckled, and gravity did what the refs never did. Held her accountable. No one booed, no one winced. Social media, a war zone. Tweets like, justice served. Posts saying, that's for Caitlin. Comments chanting, karma wins. This wasn't a tragedy, it was a reckoning. Because for weeks now, fans have screamed about how Caitlin Clark's been treated. Shoved, elbowed, poked, bumped, game after game. And who gets whistled? Clark. The victim becomes the suspect. Even Fever coach Christy Sides had enough, calling out the league for inconsistent calls and saying her star deserves better. Analysts echoed it. Fans started keeping receipts. Every foul, every missed call, every hit that was ignored. So tonight's crossover, it wasn't just a move, it was a shift, a symbolic earthquake. The bully got dropped, the game responded. Marina Mabrey, the league's most unapologetic aggressor, finally got a taste of the pain she'd been dishing. And the one who handed it to her, a player who didn't play dirty, just smart, fast, cold-blooded basketball. And Caitlin Clark, she didn't need to throw a punch. She didn't need to retaliate. She just stood, watched, and let the court speak for her. Now the internet's on fire. The highlights going viral. But this isn't about clout. It's about culture. The deeper question is echoing louder than ever. Will the WNBA finally change?
So it said Marina Mabrey heads to the locker room after Paige Becker's caught her ankles. Hopefully they replay this. You know, I'm guessing this. Wow. And what's crazy about all of this, guys, is that we all pitched in, yelling, hollering for Marina Mabrey to be suspended. And you see what the universe did, dude? The universe suspended her for us all, bruh. The universe answered everybody called. Because she is limping. She's hurt. I shouldn't laugh, God. I really shouldn't laugh.
Will they start protecting their stars? Will teams like the Sun learn that intimidation doesn't win championships? Or is this just the opening act in a season of revenge? Because make no mistake, this isn't basketball anymore. This is personal. This is vendetta. It feels more like WWE than the WNBA right now. Hard fouls, cheap shots, no accountability, and Caitlin Clark has taken it all in stride until now. Tonight she didn't have to say a word. Carrington spoke loud enough with her handles.
Dijonai, there was that moment where you had that hard foul. Not going to ask you about the hard foul, but Mabrey really kind of came in there and helped you kind of stay in the game and calm down a little bit. Just what is it like having teammates that are so close and can kind of help you in those moments?
I mean, you know, we all kind of have to keep each other calm and focused on the goal ahead. And we know that whoever we're playing, they're going to try to test us, whether it's with hard fouls, whether it's, you know, chirping, whatever it is. And we just have to stick together and make sure that each other stays focused on the goal. So that's really what you saw there.
So, what now? Will this be the turning point? Will justice finally become the standard, not the exception? Or will this cycle of bruises and backlashes keep spinning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was tonight karma or just coincidence? Did Marina Mabrey get what she deserved? Will this shift how Connecticut plays? And above all, was this finally the moment justice dunked back? Smash that like if you believe the crossover was karma in its purest form. Subscribe for more WNBA fire, breakdowns, and all the drama as it unfolds. Because in this league, vengeance is fast. And karma never misses.